orange juice in my hand, waiting for some thunder, fireworks, some fun. I haven't been feeling it lately. Technology, come and help me. I just wanna feel a bit naughty. Think I'm gonna paint him in pretty. He will give me his love and all the love and all that I'm needing. 'Cause the way he feels is almost real. And I'll be going under. I'm waiting for love and for my liking. Jacob made him. All my friends are dating IRL and getting it on. But what's the point in making devices give me all that I want? I haven't been feeling it lately. The technology came and saved me. I think I will ask you to marry me. Think I'm gonna paint him in pretty. He will give me his love and all the love and all that I'm needing. 'Cause the way he feels is so
Hello?
for my liking. Jacob made him. Think I'm gonna paint him in 3D. He will give me his love and all the loving that I'm needing. 'Cause the way he feels is almost real. Yeah, I made him for loving. I made him for loving. Think I'm gonna paint him in 3D.
Oh, hello there.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello there. Hello? Oh, hello there.
Damn, feeling lucky. How about most streets? Us two in these streets.
Hello?
Caught up in these talks. Circling my head top. Should have been more cautious. Now I got what I wanted. Many I've been here before. Made it out of loving more. Like my phone codex, so I can't stop.
Howdy.
Good morning to all. Good day to all the fine folks. Wow. First and foremost, just let me know right off the bat. Welcome on in all the raiders. Got a little bit of crud today. Session first. Hey, Spanky. Bit chaotic. And there is a King in the Hills, exclamation point joined. Have that. First, yes. I will be resetting the firsts and that stuff. Resetting the firsts when the season kicks in. But we'll leave this round of biggest fan until my next close to stream anniversary.
Greetings.
Audio! Yes, I have audio for now. My feet are very twitchy today, so I'm not particularly sure. Oh, I'm in the tin can again. Give me a second. A quick audio check. Anybody just want to let me know if that's any better or if it's still pretty bad? Okay. Yeah, it's that stupid NVIDIA thing again. So life is like that. Perfect. So some days the NVIDIA microphone and filter and whatever is fine to point straight to the mic itself. Other days OBS gets really stinking fussy and wants to go through NVIDIA's broadcast software to get the filters at that end rather than on the OBS side. I don't know why.
Hello there.
Yellow, you nearly gave me a spit take there. That actually went up my nose. Thank you very much. Okay, let's back it up real quick and see who all came in with the raid this morning. Quite a good number. So, Tom, I see you've got a good-sized party today. Please, if you are still in chat, let me know what it was you were working on today. I'm still working on this whole getting up earlier thing, so hopefully we'll be able to show up in Tom's streams a little more often, but no guarantees yet. I got to keep working on this getting up and being productive in the morning thing. Okay, so welcome on in, Valenti. Thank you very much for dropping in and visually being the first one here, although Swanky beat you to the record of it. Let's see what else we got. So, good morning, fantastic Sherlock Fox. Hopefully your workday is decent today. Tom Raids, says Sachet. Always good. More Tom Raids. Me Raid, says Tom. Love it. Good evening, Bob. Good to see you too. Benson, good morning. Yeah, it is early morning and there are spiders around. Fantastic. So what do we got? Me Raid. I always love it when that comes in. Good. Hello to Zerk. Hello to Poppy. Or, yeah, my kids are still very, very confused by Poppy's username. They're like, why isn't it Poppy? Well, there's a story behind that. But let's just say that I'd rather not call you Chronic Noob if I don't have to. Okay, what else we got? Zerk can never stick the landing. You probably weren't a gymnast. Okay, let's see. Good evening to you, Creef. Deep good evening. What else we got? First, yes, says Swanky. Yay! Drop rate ended, right on into the other game. Okay, skip a lot of those joins. Very hard to hear me. Yeah, it was tinny this morning. It's the... If I can ever make that stop, I will be happy. I'll be over the moon. Okay, what else we got? We've all been plunged to our deaths. Yay! I guess. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Oh, yes.
Welcome.
Knocking on the aquarium, right? Much better. Okay. Invasion of the bots. Neon with all of the emotes. Love it. Okay, where are we at here? Hello, Mama Bear. Good to see you. Good day to you, Sly Gamer Scott. How are you doing? It's Monday. I have coffee. I'm on my second mug, I think. I bottomed up the first one rather quickly. Didn't spill this time, which was nice. Good thing I'm not drinking coffee this time around. I now have an earworm going on. Okay. Oh. There we go. All right. That guy's just noisy. So first, we are standing in the one and only tavern. I at one point had said, I had said that, well, now I know where you were. I had said that I was only going to build one because I didn't like the alcohol reference. And then I decided to heck with that. And it made it onto the, to-do list. But that's where it stayed so far. Okay, let's see what we got. So today's plan is to attempt to use... Hello? Going to be in front of the door? Okay, he's coming around pretty quick, so I suspect he wants to play. Hello? Oh, you're in between. You fell off things. Do you have problems staying on things? I mean, come on. Here we go. Clean up the mess. All right. Why is it that I can never get 3-string when I need them, but when I don't, they're everywhere? Okay. Anyway, what am I talking about now? More arrows and such. Yeah. So basically today's plan is to try and fiddle through and make schematics of some of these things so that we can keep the houses. And I think that's about the long and the short of it. We'll see how far we get. We also have backup plans because this needs more wheat. There's always more wheat. But I am not good with Lightmaticus. This may take a little while. Okay, first off, grab my bearings. Let's start with the castle. That way I don't have to put out my ender chest yet again. Oh, squirrel! Do I have any carrots? Wow. Frame rate went in the drink for a second there. That's not good. Okay. Since we do not have any rabbits at the moment, which I could not remember whether or not I'd bred them, let's quickly grab some carrots and make some rabbits and we can let them grow. Squat. There we go. Now we fed. Hello, you. Oh, right. Yes, I was breeding up the adults up here. That's what I was up to. And they were all dying in the walls. Right. Now I remember. Hello. I remember what was going on there. Okay, let's go. I don't want to fall in again. That's the problem. Bunnies? Bunnies? Are you gonna actually cooperate? Is there a story here, Yellow? Did I miss something other than my silliness here and not being able to actually breed a rabbit? Okay, well, I guess some of the other ones weren't ready to be bred, maybe? I don't know. It'll do. I think we probably have enough little ones now. Okay. Oops, wrong box. So yeah, I actually had a bunch that I wanted to grow up a bunch of the adults at the top. But the problem is a lot of these babies, they get stuck behind the little flower pot. Then they grow up into adults and they suffocate in the wall. So we're not doing so well on that front. Let's see. Pom was playing with bunnies and it reminded me of your bunny relocation project. Exactly the same frustrations. Well, if that's the case, hire James. He just delivered a whole ton of bunnies to my location. So that was really helpful. I think he got tired of seeing me derping my way around with bunnies. So he just delivered a bunch. It was helpful. All right. Let's see. Heads. Nope, that's this one. This is that one. Heads go in that box. All right. Yeah, we'll get to the market, but I need to first get the steak. It feels like I'm not running on the right frame rate today, but I really can't tell because I didn't change anything. It's probably yet another one of those days where the computer doesn't want to do all the things. It probably needs a reboot quite badly, I would expect. Maybe that's it. What's this? Oh, right, that was the Mama Bear box I have to return. Toolbox. I actually want the wooden sword today. There we go. All right, so one of the things I want to keep is basically this place. James T. Kirk. Okay. What did I get? Fantastic Sherlock Fox. I will get there. I want to make sure I can do one successful schematic thing before I get too far. Let's try a simple one. Big ones will be trouble. So let's see, schematic placement, mode, there we go, edit, selection, there we go. That's what I want. Okay, so we want this. I want to keep my stuff. Corners. Start small? Start small, huh? Okay. Might help if it actually works. What did I do wrong? Placement. Corners mode. Right. Okay, so we should be fine. Why are you not selecting? Well, Delana is not having a great day with this. If it turns out I need to go and like back to school, then we'll have other plans. We have other things we can do instead. I can always do that off screen. Okay, let's see. Menu. Schematics area editor. Selection mode normal. Okay, well that's because... Oh, that's not what I want. Normal. Simple. There we go. Yeah, simple. Let's try that. Ooh. Simple mode, church tower front. Oh, I haven't used that in a while. Okay. Corners mode. Let's try this. Holy moly. Okay. Apparently I forgot how I did that. That's okay. I'm a little confused on why people are referring to Captain Kirk of Star Trek fame. I mean, I know who it is. I'm not sure how it applies. Oh, this one. Simple. Editor. Perfect. Okay. Worst case scenario, no, I'm not going to call it that. Subregion box name, blah, 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 blah. We'll just clear this. Okay. I have a bunch of other stuff that I've like moved in front of things, so I'm actually trying to look through things. Corner 1, corner 2. Where are we? That's the key. And box. I'm not used to seeing that much information, so. On, S on, B off. You know what? I am just going to. Oh, I've only selected one corner. You kind of can't. Yeah. Duh. Okay, go that way. And then window, editor, corner 2. There. Let's see if we can actually make this work. Kind of, sort of, maybe. Let's go that one. Nope, didn't work. Set move point 2 to this one. And then I'm going to try, see if I can get point 1 to be the one down the front. Nope. Okay. You know what? I have to go back to school. So, that said, deal with this later. No worries. Oh, James. Aha, aha. I get it now. Yeah, we have to hire Chackham, or because, and I always mispronounce that, because he's the bunny man. The bunny man. He's the bunny mover for me. He is absolutely amazing. He does 1,000,001 things. Apparently, Dylan has to go back to school on the creation of schematics. Using them, not so much. We're okay. But creation, definitely. Do I have stuff in this system? I do, apparently. Gee, wonder what we're up to today. All right. Yes, I do need another ender chest down here. Oh, of course, I left the toolbox behind. Right. Kind of hard to get something out of the toolbox when you leave the toolbox. This one. Yeah. And let's get the string out of here. Please be the string box. Yes. All right. Think I can deal? Maybe, kind of, sorta. I was hoping to move all the stuff today, but I guess not. You know, sometimes it's one of those Delenn days. There we go. All right. Now, we can go ahead and continue placing wheat because there's enough of it to do. Or, so I should take the bed. Or we can go play bingo. Whatever works. I'm having one of those, like, I don't really care moments. Let's put this up there. Let's just fly. Okay. Should do the name reference with coworkers or other friends. For example, I'm Cyclops, Ant-Man, and a character from Star Trek. Okay. I guess that makes sense, kind of, maybe. Let's see. Map, where am I? All right. 110. Okay. Just drop everything for now, right? Yes. And get out from the tree, maybe? Maybe? Okay, let's see this stuff out of the road. I had all kinds of great plans yesterday that I was going to, that I was going to be all organized and I was going to have a plan and, you know, all that kind of neat stuff. Didn't happen because I was enjoying myself far too much playing, oops, I guess I do this on the other hand. I was playing Endless Ocean yesterday. Fantastic Sherlock Fox bought Endless Ocean for me. And while it's not the kind of game that I would recommend to everybody, it certainly is my kind of game. So I was running around discovering fish. It was just the thing. Okay, so what we should probably do is see what one of these... Oh! Geek Out Hidden. Okay, let's try Dex Games. What do we got? There we go. So yeah, I was running around. It's got great graphics in terms of like what it can do. The fish look fantastic. The world, as some have noted in reviews, is definitely less detailed, but I'm frankly of the opinion that that's not what I'm there for. I'm there for the fish, and they look fine. So I'm not too bothered that they're not highly detailed. 2 items. Yeah, $5. People who go to $5. Where's Benson? She probably knows. Just name some sort of fancy coffee and it's probably on the Starbucks menu. Or you can easily explain how to make it and they'll make it for you. Starbucks is funny though because it's regional. And what I mean by that is that my favorite one was actually a Canadian one called Light Note. And I don't know if it's available anywhere else now, but for a long time you couldn't get it elsewhere. So, yeah, I was one of those, was it large or venti? I can't remember which. Light Note with ice and room. Because, of course, then you go and add your own milk or cream or whatever. Oh, huh. Well, whatever. It's a hole. People who are aware of me in the DC Discord are familiar with the fact that I was saying to people yesterday, am I the only one that comes up with an idea for a theme for a base, like for a season, and then realizes, first off, that to do it the way I want to do it is huge, which then makes me panic a little bit, because I don't think I'll be able to pull it off to the level of done that I would like to make it actually look good. But then the second thing that happens is that I realize that it's a big project in scale, and I start wondering if I can actually keep up the interest long enough. So this season, I actually petered out. What I mean by that is that the wall was huge. We got the wall done. That was like it was done. It didn't end up getting the stairs to access the top of the wall. So the only place you can really get up onto the wall right now is either a few places from the inside where it's lower than it should be. But I mean, we're looking at defense from the outside, so whatever. And then other than that, you can get to it from the 2 gatehouses. There's steps upwards, but there isn't any other way to get up on top of the wall unless you fly. Which of course is not realistic. But the place has a whole bunch of spots that, oops, come on over here, map, that need to be filled in with housing. And I just couldn't get the impetus to do it. We need more inns and more taverns. Apparently, an actual sized place would probably have about 8 to 12 in a town. So yeah, I was going to do something more exciting, but it didn't end up happening. Oh, it's almost 6. Okay, so I have to figure out, where did I put the bed? Over here somewhere, I think, maybe. Okay, well, that's great. I put the bed down. I can't remember where I put it. All right. So anyway, that was the thought I'd had. I'm kind of fired up about, right now, fired up about next season potentially doing a theme based around the yellow submarine, like the Beatles concept. And part of the idea was that it would be sort of thematic references to it as opposed to anything major. The problem is, of course, that some of the ones I want to do, in order to get the feel I want, take a lot more work than I originally anticipated, just based on the skill level. It was just funny, but I was actually looking at it going, yeah, to get holes, the land of holes. Doesn't sound that complicated, but even nowhere land, in order to get the proper feel, it's got to be big, simply because, oh. I guess I should have used the fortune hoe. Oh well. Whatever. Just because anything smaller, it just doesn't have the nowhereness feel to it. And that would be a lot of circles. And although people this season did versions of the submarine, I wanted actually to be big enough to be inside, like a base building. So that would be a little bit challenging, because then I want to make the hallway look correct, and have an engine room and so on. And that's, more projects. And I'm excited, but on the other hand, I don't know if I can sustain it. One of the other thoughts I'd had was to do, we talked about this last week, and I haven't watched my own VOD to write it down. I kind of warned you guys I would forget, and I did, like less than 30 seconds after I went off stream. But one of the other thoughts I'd had was to do a woodland mansion, like start out with a schematic of it, just because that's the easy part, get the main shell built, and then try and do basic farms, manual ones probably, inside, and just see how that goes all season. It sounds like it's got the potential to be quick and dirty build, which wouldn't take a whole season, so we'll have to see how it goes. Funny you should mention that, Swanky. Actually, one of the things I thought about doing was taking a bit of a page out of your book, but doing something along the lines of a perimeter and emptying it, and then like just a smaller one for the specific build I needed, empty it, and then build the build, and then fill it back in. And I decided that, given the amount of work that would take, I should probably focus on another element first, wait till the right parts are available, and then just hire somebody to do up a conduit and call it a day. And then just build underwater, and then the only thing I'd have to actually empty and dry out would be the inside of the build where I wanted to live, and that's not too bad as a concept. But yeah, to have an entire land, I very quickly didn't even put more than 2 minutes thought into an Atlantis.
because I realized I would be sick of that so fast. I thought of, you know, like a Swiss Family Robinson treehouse. Yeah, good point. So I thought about that. And unfortunately, there's so much detail in both the Robinson Crusoe concept and the Swiss Family Robinson stuff that I don't think I could do it in Minecraft Vanilla. I think it would have to be modded in some format just to get the level of detail required. So yeah, that's not going to happen. So, I mean, there's just, you know, it's a ton of things, but I keep getting ideas that either are tiny, because I figure they're achievable, or they're huge. And a base full of tiny still doesn't really fire me up all that much right now, so I've got to figure out what I want to do. And time is running out. Oh, yeah, okay, well, yeah, you wanted to do deep, deep. I didn't think about going deep, deep. I was just thinking about, like, for the sub, would quite literally be just enough below the water that it's submerged. Sort of, how do you think about it? Disney-esque. Like, if you're gonna watch, if you ever see a YouTube video of people filming, like, a submarine ride from Disney, from above, the thing is so ridiculously shallow. And the reason they do that, of course, is safety. If something happens and they need to get people out fast, they need it to not actually be all that deep underwater. Aside from the fact that it's expensive, right? Oh yeah, for sure. Still puts you on the ocean surface. Well, exactly. I mean, and the advantage to the yellow submarine concept, though, is that it really wasn't actually, a lot of it isn't actually underwater. They drive, I guess, the submarine through all sorts of places where it's just floating around in air, so it really doesn't matter. Let's see. Comics, 2 DC Comics Dimensions. Speed Force and the green. Ah! Green is for Swamp Thing? Ooh. Okay. Swamp Thing is one I'm not particularly familiar with. Let's roll that. The other thing I'm debating for next season is the reference isn't really there in Oswin's name to keep the botter part. I mean, it keeps the bot reference, but it's not necessary. So I don't know if I'll do that either. We'll see. The other thing about it is I'm on the Java server, which is all well and good, but since we don't have either avatars or posable armor stands, then that makes some of the references to Beatles scenes less appealing. But we'll see. I mean, I might. I mean, it gives opportunity for very large statues of things, should I want to do that. Like, for example, if I was just being cheesy about it, I wanted to do, say, a Lamoid Abbey Road reference. It doesn't take much to do a very basic asphalt road with 4 armor stands on it wearing dyed leather armor in the Sgt. Pepper colors. You know, it's not rocket science. And that's a 20-minute build. It's not a 3-hour build or something, right? So, I mean, I need to figure out what I want to be happy with. And that's the hard part. So, that's the gist of it, I guess. And those are the only 2 that actually come to mind. I know, I think I had an Alice in Wonderland reference, but that was another one of those big things. I was working on in creative some Alice pieces, and I'm not happy with the way the White Rabbit's turning out. I mean, easiest Alice reference known to man is the land being all checkerboard. That I can do. I mean, hey, I'm planting a ton of wheat. I could just as easily do it in flowers or carpet or whatever to make the land checkerboard. You know, that's easy peasy. If you, Zerk, do let me know if that comes to be, because that would be quite nice, given the thought I had. But we'll have to see. I mean, really, as many people love to point out, you can do what you want to do. It's like the Addams Family movie rap, you know? Do what you want to do, say what you want to say. And there really isn't much to that. Although honestly, even if the next season or the release of 1.21 were delayed, it wouldn't change the propensity I have for second guessing. That's always going to be built in. So, you know, just what it is. Sweet Life of Zack and Cody was part of your childhood. Wow. I mean, we've also got some classic ones. Shirley Temple was a child actor. I nearly named her twice. Elizabeth Taylor was a child actor as well. Actress, I guess. Oh, what's his name? Shoot, I can't remember his name now. Ron Howard would definitely have been a child actor. Because director Ron Howard played Little Opie in the Andy Griffith Show. That's one of those Where Are They Now? And I would say he was very smart to have got out of acting. Much better as a director. Sometimes I wish his brother would take the hint. You're right. You're right. She, Shirley Temple did do some voice tests for Goldilocks characters for Disney, but then Disney decided not to proceed with that particular Three Bears production, so she never got to actually do anything. Yeah, Ron Howard is not a child actor for Disney either. Remember, yeah, cannot for the life of me think about it. All right, so I'm going to roll the geek out then. Not because I didn't answer, but because we had two successful answers already. Okay, comics. 4 ex-military comic book characters. Ex-military. So none of the Beetle Bailey stuff would qualify in that case. Captain America and Buckeye. There you go. See, Gamer Scott's all over this today. Right. And while another thought I'd had, just throwing things out there, another thought I'd had about bases. I do not like caves. However, if I successfully lit one up, that's a big if, but let's assume I successfully lit one up. Another thought I'd had was to live the entire season in a cave. Or because I've never done it before, and then just do something kind of like a fishbowl sort of notion. I don't mean that in a fishbowl sense, but I mean as in, I guess if you could have sort of a central point, and then that's where people would arrive if they're coming from the Nether, and then there's like rooms that sort of branch out from that in the cave via walkways and stuff. I've also never done jungle, which would be a possibility. That, once again, lends itself to treehouses, which I've never done. And it'd be interesting to try and do a treehouse that I liked that does not end up becoming, some sort of riff on an Ewok village. That's another one of those, could be a Swiss Family Robinson type reference thing. Why do I keep looking for references? It would be a good question. And I think it's just because I have an addiction to having a theme for things to help keep the direction. When I didn't know what I was going to do, we ended up with Ghostbusters. So, yeah. That's actually another real reason I was thinking about the Beatles concept. Excuse me. It's because then it lends itself well to dioramas of sorts. Like, as in, you could do a bizarre statue for something, and that's useful. Likes military comic book characters. Good question. Oh, that's okay. We can roll it. Ha ha ha. Huh. Wow, Disney, you've got a really rough set of questions today. So keep in mind that even though it says Disney, it doesn't have to be, all animated or cheesy live action. Disney does own other property names, which unfortunately elude me at the moment. But I do know that they own other property names, so there's plenty that is technically Disney that we may not necessarily recognize as such. I want to say Miramax, but I can't recall if that really is the case or not. I mean, I guess one could technically also say it's another sci-fi if you want to be picky about it. Because wartime, if you take a non-fiction, a fictional universe, then you can add all kinds of ones to it. Like the fact that they own Lucasfilm means that you could include Star Wars. Because since when are people not at war in Star Wars? Yep. Let's see. Takes place during wartime. That's a good question. I'm going to say Song of the South, but you'll just trust me on that one. It's a little hard to prove. But the notion of why why the people are in the place they are at the time in the film is related to really old wartime, and that some of the main characters wanted to get the wife and the youth out of the line of fire, so to speak, so they transported them off to like grandma's plantation, and that's where the whole thing starts. So there's that. Let's see, try to see what else. Yeah, that's about it. I'm going to roll that one just on spec, just because we have risk of dancing into all kinds of places we don't want to dance. Let's see, 2 films that take place in China. 2 films that take place in China, and it looks like we're not Disney. So, I mean, clearly you can choose the Mulan series, and you can choose the Kung Fu Panda series, just because they do. But beyond that, what else have we got? Yeah, exactly. Usually when they ask this kind of question, a franchise would count as one answer. I guess I'll go with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, probably. That'll do. Just about every martial arts movie takes place in one of 3 places. Usually it's China, Japan, Korea, I guess, or the 4th location is some randomly made up world that doesn't exist. Like just about every one of the Bruce Lee films does that. And if I remember correctly, the Karate Kid remake is a China one. I think the remake with Jaden Smith is there, which was a little bit annoying to some people because Jaden Smith. That's really about it. Okay, I think we've got 2 films, so let's roll that again. What have we got? Television, 2 TV actors who went on to be feature film stars. Interesting. Usually it's the other way around. You know, we get film A-listers who end up on the small box, small screen. Now they say the aughts, so they're talking like within the last 20 years. However, I will easily accept, just for the purposes of conversation, which is why we play the game, I will accept any answers that are prior to that as well. Cool. I didn't know that. That's neat. I mean, you could say Will Smith would qualify, because he went from, like, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to being a movie guy. Right. Getting anywhere? Maybe. We might this eon make it around. So being as I honestly thought I remembered how to do Lightmatics and forgot, clearly, then I will make a point of going and watching some videos before we try that again. But that will be probably this week. And confirmed, even playing with my son, I am still an absolutely dreadful sailor of Sea of Thieves. Cannot sail a straight line to save myself. So I don't know if we'll be doing any of that this week. I would like to do a little bit of Manor Lords, but unfortunately, I found out the problem, and I have to do some testing to find out whether or not I can get it to work. Long story made short, Manor Lords is one stinking hungry game. And that means that that it wants a ton of my GPU. So, first off, I want to test, can I still have it look half decent with some of the settings reduced, and how well does that work? So I have to do the load testing business for stream. The second option is to actually try out using my laptop and try and do a dual computer system for OBS setup. I've never done that before, so I will have to try that out. Did he go straight to Men in Black, or did he do Wild Wild West first? I can't recall. Sorry, Will Smith, that is. Where did I put the bed? I remember I dislike Wild Wild West for the most part. It's kind of a ridiculous movie. But the best thing I ever had out of that, to be honest with you, was the DVD version that we bought. Actually, I don't know who bought it for me. Somehow it ended at my parents' house. But the DVD version of the movie, when you launch it, the opening menus actually had like a surround sound kind of thing going, where you'd have, I think it was a saw blade or something, that would go around, sort of around you, and the sound would go circular. And so that was the best thing that we used the movie for, was rather than watching it, we used it as a sound test. So when my parents would move their speakers around or something, then my brother and I would put that movie on the DVD player and make sure that the surround sound sounded decent. Other than that, we didn't watch the movie from, I think we've maybe seen it twice off the DVD, and I've seen it maybe once more beyond that, because I really didn't like it. On the other hand, had I known that Cowboys and Aliens was actually going to be a movie later on, I might have just saved my sanity and waited for that nonsense. Yeah. I'm curious to know, for others that do play Minecraft, not so I can steal it, just curious, maybe somebody will jog an idea for me. Do you guys have ideas or plans for your next base? Whether you're on the solo world or on a server, do you guys have plans for your next base? Bedrock or Java? Anything in particular? You know, things you want to try, things you want to do? I thought it'd been more of a thing I've never done before as a concept, but like never done before is such a wide range. And as far as Redstone goes, there's a lot of stuff that I've never done, and I'm not really sure I care to try. Not that it's hard, it's just there's some things that by the time I figured it out, the season would be half over. Old story, mailbox. Don't have me build the post office, put it that way. Charleston waterfront or fairy mushrooms? Ooh. You know, Sashay, I did think about you when I thought about doing the Alice in Wonderland theme, because I was thinking about yourself and Tis for Truth, because you guys are very good at organic shapes. And I was thinking, you know, I could learn a lot from you guys. You built a hobbit hole. Ooh. That was actually one of the other thoughts I had, is if I do the cave entrance thing, would be to potentially live in a hobbit hole. Another one I thought about living in was, it's going to sound weird, but a large, do the cave thing, but live inside a solar system. So as in, I don't like Skyblock, it freaks me out. However, as part of pushing my personal boundaries, I was tempted to fake it. So, may not actually live in a skyblock as such, but do a build your own island, or if I had a cave, then build myself a blob to live on at the semi-center, and let it be the sun or whatever, and then other little islands on the way out that would be planets and moons and so on and so forth. But I was thinking about these people who are good at organics, in terms, when I was thinking the Alice style, because the mushroom underneath the well-known caterpillar would be something that's been done enough that it would be notable if it was done jankily. So I would probably need to, quote-unquote, go back to school for that. On the other hand, most of the characters are organic enough in shape that I'd have to go back to school for it, which is part of why I've shelved the idea. Most of the Disney-esque ideas I had, actually, I've shelved that as well. Just for the same reasons. There's blocky, and then there's, too blocky. That doesn't mean it's not possible. You know, I don't have a lot of confidence in my own building skills. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that I can't do it. I just would have difficulty being satisfied with it. You know? And it doesn't mean never do it, just probably not on screen in front of others. Yeah, bendy stuff is hard, for sure. Curved things are hard. And even if I went and made a square mushroom, it would still be weird. Hey, Captain Red, good to see you. How are you? Welcome on in. I don't think I've had the opportunity to meet you before, so I'm always asking people who drop in new if they would be willing to tell me what it was that caught their attention about the channel and made them go on by. New faces are always welcome, or even long-time returning faces. Or in this case, names, I guess. The only face you guys got is my mug. You know, there's just far too many games out there I'm enjoying these days. I'm enjoying Minecraft as well. It's just, I need something to really fire me up for the new season. But I am very certain, even when I'm being, down on the ideas for bases and stuff, I still know that I'm addicted to Minecraft enough that the notion of taking off a season is a no-go. That's not happening. no breaks. I would say no rest for the wicked, but that would imply I'm wicked, which would be mildly amusing if I came back with a green skin next year. But I think I'm too nice to be wicked. That's certainly not Idina Menzel grade. Now, Sachet, on the other hand, could probably pull off a good Idina Menzel impression. It's not in my wheelhouse. Ah, I see. Thanks, Captain. Welcome on in. Yeah, Wolfen and I have both been members of the Dadcraft 73 community for quite a while. And, oh, okay. And so basically people have encouraged each other for quite a long time to become streamers, which is a fun and engaging activity, usually, most of the time. Yeah, I would agree with you, Sachet. Let's just say I haven't had cats upset at me, or dogs, but I have tried a few times, and I don't do that outside the house. Certainly not on stream, and certainly not now, simply because my voice is not in the shape for it. Do I have? Nope. It's my random junk bin. Has to go over here for now. Put this. Oh, not that way. I want go the other direction. I need this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, I've given that a shot, and I would apologize to anyone within 50 miles. I'm not a horrible singer. I just don't, it goes in that whole Dolan confidence category, right? We know this game far too well. Okay, this way, and I can take one more, I think. Anyway. One film that has become a musical on Broadway. Jeez. Okay. Because it's a Disney question, this is easy peasy lemon squeezy. I mean, these days, think of a Disney show that has not become a thing on Broadway. Most of them have. I mean, we've got Little Mermaid, we've got Lion King, we've got Aladdin, just to name a few. We've also got High School Musical, unfortunately. It was like, what was it, High School Musical, the film, the musical, or something like that? It just got rather ridiculous. I married Fantastic Sherlock Fox, and I'm actually, when I first saw his online name, I was quite surprised that that was what he chose. I get it now, but at the time I half expected he'd pick something Lion King related. But yeah, because it was actually kind of funny. I guess I'd call it our first date. We probably really didn't, but I've known him since, like, I met Fantastic Sherlock Fox through a friend at university. And he was a huge Lion King fan. So one I would sort of say is our first date, I guess, as such, was picking him up from the airport after he was on a business trip. He just needed a lift. And I said, yeah, I'd meet you. And maybe we'd go for some fast food or something just because we were friends. Like, we were part of a mutual friend group. And so I said, okay, maybe I'd pick him up afterwards and we'd go for a little bit of fast food or something. And then, where did I put the bed? Oh, well. Let's throw down another one for now, and then I'll find it afterwards. And we didn't actually get out of the airport, but the plan had been to go and get fast food dinner and then go to a movie because they were I don't know if it was a permanent thing or just a temporary thing, but they were showing the Lion King animated in the theaters again. So that was, we didn't make it out of the airport. I don't think we did fast food. I think we might have gone into the movie. Truthfully told, I cannot remember. But yeah. So yeah, there's lots of Lion King reference stuff in our house, and I have a couple of Lion King watches, which is pretty cool. Because I like those a lot. There we go. What else have we got? Disney movies, yeah, that's just a few. We rolled it. Thank you. Thank you, Sly Gamer Scott, for rolling that. It was getting awkward. Okay, 2 franchises in which a child is kidnapped or switched into a fantasy world. Kidnapped or switched into a fantasy world. You know, I don't think it's really kidnapped there, but I'm going to start with Peter Pan. And I'm actually going to pull another Disney one there and just say, how about Mary Poppins when they jump into the sidewalk? Labyrinth. Ooh, good one. Oh, Neverending Story probably work as well there. Yep, and Narnia. Exactly, yeah. They went through the wardrobe. Most people know Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I like the, I actually had read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe on my own. But then, after that, read The Magician's Nephew as part of a read-along thing my mom used to do when my brother and I were really little. And it's kind of neat to get the origins of Narnia out of that. That was sort of a fun twist, because you find out why there's a random lamppost in the middle of Narnia. Bedknobs and broomsticks? Yes, you're right. With, I think it's Traguna McCoy's Decorum Status D, for substitutionary locomotion. I like it, Angela Lansbury. So a lot of her works end up on my watch list. And I actually can watch them all now, as sad as that is. Okay. Although just about anything with David Tomlinson in it would be on my watch list as well. As he was in so many of the Disney films, it was kind of getting ridiculous. Let's see what else have we got. I mean, it doesn't have to just be, and we don't have to change it, but, sorry, we don't have to change the conversation, even if the topic gets changed on the game. That's totally fine. Well, that I can answer. Yeah. Doesn't take a whole lot of imagination on that one, I'm afraid. Culver's bacon ad. Ooh, yum yum. Just bacon in general. Where was I? Yes. Sometimes when I see Bedknobs and Broomsticks, I wonder if it, because I'm not good with which animated film came first. I know Bedknobs and Broomsticks was a mix, but sometimes I wonder if Bedknobs and Broomsticks was a test for later doing parts of the animated Robin Hood. A lot of the underwater scenes and the animal scenes in Bedknobs and Broomsticks remind me a lot of scenes that were in the animated Robin Hood. It's okay. Family friendly and all, but yeah, sometimes the Twitch gets a little bit too twitchy when it comes to what it wants to try and block. sometimes I think it needs its head examined, but I could not imagine Scott would ever say anything inappropriate. So, yeah. Shame on you, Twitch. Context is everything, sir. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there's a lot of Disney actors and actresses that I have watched just about anything they're in. And it's not because I sort of like Disney films, but it's more that, like the live action ones, they're generally half decent actors. Yeah, I'm sorry for both of those. Cartoons aren't a bad thing, but sometimes shows had some level of maturity that adults could identify with. And then when the series, or when the franchises brought out cartoons, some of the level of maturity dropped off. And I'm sorry to see that. I mean, not as much in the Star Wars franchise, but it definitely happened in the Star Trek franchise. It became a lot more like just comics moving, really. And I think that has had to do a little bit with the perception that cartoons are for kids, in the same way that for a long time people perceived comic books are for kids. In spite of the people making comic books definitely trying to convince the public otherwise. That not all comic books have to be for kids. They're not just, collected up or longer strip versions of your Sunday afternoon funnies from the newspaper. 6 sci-fi television shows. Well, I'll let you guys hit it first, because I'm not great with knowing a lot of them. Fantastic Sherlock Fox knows far more than I do. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Neon. So it could have been a test run for some of that stuff. It's possible. Because the soccer or non-North American football match in Bedknobs and Broomsticks reminds me an awful lot of the Robin Hood stuff. Look at this one. I should not have actually started that whole chant from Bedknobs and Broomsticks, because now I have that stuck in my head. Surprise. The lens earworms. Hey, see? Fantastic Sherlock Fox does know far more than I do. So we've got Firefly, The Expanse, Star Trek, Star Wars, Space Above and Beyond, and Space 1999. And come on, Fox. You're talking to me. What other one? Oh, come on. Earth 2, yes. There's one in particular I'm thinking of we haven't heard yet.
Your attention, please.
Did you know Mary Poppins did not use a green screen for the mix of live-action animation? You're right, they did not. Stargate would work, yep. Not the one that I was referring to, but yes, definitely. I did know that, actually. So with a lot of the mix of live action, for example, the Penguins, which is actually something that Neon's well aware that I do know. I'm quite a fan of classic practical effect movie magic, having done 2 or 3 school presentations as a youth after researching that. Suffice to say, that one was kind of neat because they had the actors dancing on a stage, like with a full backdrop and so forth, and set pieces as necessary and whatnot. And then after that, they animated onto those cells the penguins, which was kind of cool. So it's sort of neat to see footage from behind the scenes of Dick Van Dyke in his really, I would say he beat MC Hammer to the Hammer Pants before MC Hammer did. Really. Exactly, yeah. And apparently during shooting, of course, they actually had to switch and film that section twice, or well, more than twice, but I mean, really get 2 separate shots, simply because they had to have Van Dyke change his costume to get the lower pants. And that was great. But in his memoirs, he actually writes about how, though he knew it was a costume, because the rest of his outfit was fairly normal, there were a couple of times where he forgot between takes about it, like, going to get a soda or something, and tripped over his own feet just because he forgot that he was wearing a costume with a lower, or an altered stride. So it didn't work too well. There's a bit of that neon for sure. Also, they used very, very heavy usage of, oh shoot, I know this, and I can't remember the name of it. The painting technique. So where Mary Poppins, for example, in the beginning, she's floating on a cloud, and she's floating on a cloud fixing her makeup, and that scene was done matte paintings. There it is. That's what I'm thinking of. It was done through matte paintings. So what they did there was they had an artist paint on the scene of like the London skyline, and they painted it on glass with a hole in the middle. Not a hole in the glass, but as in like a clear section in the glass. And then they had Julie Andrews sitting on, prop cloud or whatever in the background with a matching painted backdrop, etc. And she did all her acting in that window in the matte painting. So the camera would line up such that she was sitting in the appropriate spot in the painting. And they did an awful lot of that. And honestly, I think one of my favorite sort of, not white elephants, but the if I had the money and could do it sort of things, is I would love to have, an original matte painting from something in a high-end studio, because that matte painting art is so amazingly lost. It's also interesting that some of the, we joke about how directors today will request during the final edits to get additional changes made or sounds made, or the CGI, adjust something or whatever. And people don't realize necessarily that even back in the day, things were done. So even though a lot of the songs would have been recorded with the folio art for the sounds live, they still change things after the fact. For example, one of the most obvious in the Mary Poppins soundtrack is the section in "It's a Jolly Holiday" with Mary. Well, "It's a Jolly Holiday," I guess, where the barn animals are singing about it. In the released soundtrack, they don't actually have the bit with barn animals kicking things and making a lot of barn animal noises. I mean, they have some of the barn animal noise stuff, but there's no, kicking of tubs and things like that ended up in the soundtrack. That was an after addition in the movie, once they had already sent the soundtrack to BMG for release. It's kind of interesting how that works. Yep, matte paintings. Another good example, of course, was the stairway of climbing smoke from one part of the rooftops to another. That was another one, of course, that was matte painting central. I mean, the same sort of way, though, when you think about it, they don't always, use digital effects these days. Just because they can doesn't mean they do, right? I mean, the most obvious one that people are aware of in the last, I was going to say the last decade, but God, I'm wrong. I'm old now. But was when the Lord of the Rings series was done. It's very clear. All of the practical effects that were done to make the hobbits the correct size compared to, say, Gandalf. So they actually had, some cases they had double sets for Elijah Wood, but in other cases they actually had warped out sets where things were built bigger. Good question. I don't know. It should be, because it's actually because they had separate artists singing in that song. But we've got But yeah, it was they sing a whole verse while everybody else is going by. Interesting. And I'm not on form today for doing two things at once, but that's another one of those pieces I used to be able to quote was Dick Van Dyke's thing about the girls he was dating that makes Mary give him all kinds of stern looks for dating other women. But I mean, given her weird life, why would anybody hang around for her? And it's kind of interesting because the Disney version of Mary Poppins really annoyed the author, as one can see from Saving Mr. Banks. You can definitely see that there was a whole different story behind that. It upset P.L. Travers quite a lot. That said, having read the books for the Mary Poppins series, she's not anywhere near as shiny and sugary and wonderful as Disney made her out to be. Frankly put, she was quite something else. And the notion in the Disney film, you don't know why she's going to get days off for the week. I mean, people go, yeah, okay, everybody deserves a day off. She was quite adamant that she was going to get specific days off, and it turns out that she had magical reasons and she was meeting up with other people, and it's just far more to that. She's far weirder in the books. Big sticker lag. I think that we still have stickers. I don't know if I still have stickers. I should. I've been messing around with sources late, so I couldn't tell you if I have stream stickers on right now. Give me a quick sec not to fall off this cliff and take a quick look. Where would I put that? I think it's under alerts. They're there? They're just slow. Okay. Yep, still there. Okay. So far, so good. And I'm catching movement out of the corner of my eye, so I was like, what is pushing me around? Of course, I have to stand right on a bee as they come by. Fantastic. Okay, getting around corners. How far out do I want to go? I didn't think we were this far. It's actually kind of nice. Oh. I don't really want to... I don't really want to deal with caves. I hate caves. Let's just wing it. Disney made most movies much more nice. What's funny because even before they got themselves in trouble for Song of the South, I guess apparently they had a lot of pushback from some of the Imagineers saying, I'm not particularly sure you want to keep asking us to do stuff like this. We're going to get in trouble. And Disney was often a snot saying, I know what I want. You know, you do what I want. And, yeah. His Imagineers were like, okay, well, we do what you want, but we're going to try our best not to incorporate certain elements of what you've asked into, you know, the parks that came out after you've done various films, because they didn't like some of the stuff that was going in there. I mean, when you think about it, you know, people talk about Jack Sparrow and love the Pirates of the Caribbean movies and complain about how they are getting so dark, or were getting so dark, and it's like, really, guys? That's clearly nowhere near what reality was, right? It glorifies piracy in ways that are totally not realistic, even compared to books. But, you know, I can just be a grump some days. I get that from my dad. He can be a grump too. Let's see. Oh. Well, I don't want problems, so let's just throw this one in here. That's going to be a hangover. 7, anything else? No, we're good. Ha ha ha. Subject matter, Neon. Generic subject matter. It falls under the category of so politically incorrect, they didn't actually recover from that very well. Hence the reason that it's not just in the vaults for now sort of thing. It's in the we shall never ever re-release this pile. That's actually part of why the America Sings stuff vanished at the parks, and why you didn't get like the Splash Mountain stuff, although it's technically related to Song of the South. They never publicly acknowledged that in their material at the parks. Not much. Not much. I'm working my way around the end with what I've got left for seeds. We're far enough away from the farm that it's not going to catch up for a bit. Okay. Let's see. What do we got? Should do... Oops. Didn't catch my marker. So it looks like I've got a line that would work round about where I'm headed. See. 250s. Okay, so we can handle that. I'm trying to figure out where that is in reality. It's probably around this lip. So let's see if we can make it work. I can see it on the map. Like there's a lightweight line that I'm working with, sort of down here. But it feels weird because it's just this one in front of me. Yeah, let's just do that. Hello. Okay. Bed. I don't know where the red one went. I'm not too fussed at the moment. I can make it day and something happens, we end up at spawn. Well, it happens. All right. What did I drop? Bazillion seeds. That's fine. Okay. Let's go right along that line. So I'll put this one back in. Away. And I'm going to need to do the inside, but I just want to try and make my line match before I get too far, because then I know where I'm at. Easy. What? Oh. We had two. What did we miss out for? What? No idea what that had to do with anything, but apparently I missed something. I missed something. There we go. All right, I can see where I'm at. Actually, let's not do that. Those two. Too low. Okay, so, yeah. Where is it going with this? Neon had asked about, right, appropriateness. Exactly, that's what I was thinking of. Okay. Got my head back, I think. For fantasy novelists. Lewis, Tolkien for sure. Margaret Weiss, I don't think I've read any of theirs. Oh, Jay-Z songs, ick. Sorry, not personally my taste. Nothing wrong with Jay-Z songs, just not my thing. I mean, I guess you could call... No, you couldn't. McCaffrey, that's what I was trying to think of. For some reason, my brain was going for Ursula Le Guin. I'm like, no, that's probably not right.
Welcome.
Deadcraft knows. Proper fantasy, not like Gary Trotter. I nearly read that as words, so I'm glad I didn't say that out loud, because that would be inappropriate. Like, inappropriate as in rude, not as in non-family friendly. Neil Gaiman. Oh, yes, good one. I think we beat 4, so you can keep it a roll at your choice. I read so much mystery book, or so many mystery books, that I'm terrible with fantasy writers. When it comes to sci-fi, that's definitely Fantastic Sherlock Fox's bag. And my son. I'm not going to go right down into the cave lip just because I don't think it would actually have much visibility to the sun, maybe? I don't know, what direction am I facing? Yeah, that'll work. You wouldn't see it from overhead anyway. Wonders of TB and TB adjacent. What? Truly bedrock, I assume you mean. So I did have to chuckle. Fantastic Sherlock Fox pointed something out mildly amusing the other day, that DC was having Deadcraft was having a very busy start to one of his streams, just all the noises and sounds and whatnot. And Fox turns to me and jokingly says, "And he says your stream is busy." I'm like, yeah, mine's a little more consistently busy.
Hello.
Not, temporarily busy. Whereas DC's was very, very, very busy, but it was temporarily busy. Kind of amusing. Actually, you didn't hear what Lego Kid I was doing this Friday because yeah. I had a Dell moment. Again. This working memory, she no work. Let's put it that way. Suffice to say, I keep talking about going to put up a poll, see what people actually want to see for Lego. And so last Friday, I was supposed to have the poll up well in advance and didn't. And I said, oh yeah, I'll do it this week for sure. Yeah, well, this is like Rocky and Bullwinkle, This time for sure, Rocky. And still didn't happen. I squirreled again. So I was going to say, I'll do it today, but I still would love to say that. I just can't promise it. So yeah, most of the sets, there will actually be a couple extra options I've decided this morning. And what I mean by that is there'll be a couple extra options in the categories of anything but Harry Potter, because most of my sets are that, but some people may be getting tired of that, even though it's my favorite fandom of Lego. There will also be a no Lego, please, just so that I can get a vibe of who's sick and tired of that and wants something else. So yeah, just those options are there and people can vote more than once. But that has to imply that I've actually, got the poll up. I may even have a bot that does it. I don't know. For all I know. I haven't actually looked at my bots in a little while. That's another one of those, yep, someday items. We've got movies, 4 films with the word night in the title. Night at the Museum, Dark Knight, Nightmare Before Christmas, probably. Oh, I'm running low, okay. I mean, there's been animated movies of what's that stupid poem? There's actually a name for it, but the poem that was the 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, I've seen that actually as a movie short title. There's some dark films that have titles like Silent Night, which is rough. Well, Swanky, one of the things I joke about as I learn more and more about neurodivergence, just, yes, Fox, it's getting there. Trust me, won't stay on that topic long. Anyway, is that it's actually quite common for people to have a list that really boils down to now and not now. And the not now may never become now. So, yeah. Ooh. I'm gonna pretend my farmers don't really like it down there. I know I don't, but let's see, where do we? Yeah, that's totally not acceptable. just for my own safety. Let's put at least one torch down here. That'll do. And one on this side, because that's no-go. Oops, not that. No-go land. There we go. Just to try and save me from getting eaten alive by things. Really, Delenn? Honestly, you not parkour? Thank you. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of that. I mean, Swanky, a lot of that. So, yeah, now or not now is really where it goes. And the not nows can become closer to now, as in they actually make it to the I will do it list. But I have to give myself some sort of reason that there's a deadline. And sometimes that can simply be, I have to try and make myself believe people will be annoyed with me if I don't do it. It sounds really weird, but I've got an aversion to people being upset with me. Or the perception that people will be upset with me. You know, ask anybody in DC's Discord. That's far too common an old story for me. So all that to say that, gotta get to it. You know, get on it, man. It used to be a thing. I can't remember exactly where that started, but there was a comedy joke about that where, like not a punchline style thing, just where it was a whole get on it, man kind of punchline, and I don't remember what it's from, but it pops up in my head from time to time. Well, and actually it's funny that the now versus not now thing works really well when I'm thinking about base ideas as well. Because that also means, oops, I can turn this off. That also means I need to decide, I can work on ideas and it sounds great and then I can do anything as long as it's on the not quite now list. Well, you know, Sly Gamer Scott, I would agree with you in the only if category. Not just depending on how you do it, but you're referring to LARPing. Live action role playing for those who don't like acronyms. It's funny. I like role playing games. Tabletop role playing, yes. Not quite get me in there, but we're not far off. That said, whoa, no, just no. You can burn. Hear you. Come on. Fine. Whatever. But live action role playing, I've unfortunately known a few players who were not quite right. And so therefore LARPing became a really bad thing for them. As in, don't LARP while you're drunk, I'll tell you that. Some of them would take the LARPing a little too far in terms of quote-unquote realism, and that's also bad news bears, and it becomes the sort of weirdness our parents told us about. Oh, that was dumb. So then use your brain. So anyway, let's see. Looking at tabletop games with a sports theme. Yeah, air hockey and foosball works well. I've even seen tabletop, what do they call it? They call it tabletop football, but really it's just like flick football, I think it is. And that's a sports game because you're supposed to take something football-esque and flick it through some uprights like you would for a field goal. Table tennis definitely has a sports theme, for sure. Let's see what else. Trying to think. Tabletop games with sports theme. Yeah. I think we hit on all the ones I can think of. I'll roll that one. 4 songs with a month in the title. I'll start with one of them. We'll go with November Rain. Hello, sheep. I can think of at the moment. How far do Jeepers Creepers? Yeah, there's an idea that people would actually, farm these glyphs, and then there's an idea that they'd be nuts to do so. So I'm just trying to see how far up from the wall. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll start some up here. Work our way into the wall. Probably a smarter idea. But we'll skip that lip there. October song? Ooh, okay, sounds good. There's got to be something about like a July heat or something like that, a rainy April morning or something like that. It's got to be, because it just seems like it's something to be missing out on otherwise. I have respect for DC for doing this to his desert. Because this is insane. Although I will say his desert seemed a bit flatter. Come on, you. There we go. Almost out of seeds? Really? You had water, though. Well, yeah, I can see that it makes it easier in terms of not jumping on things. But I meant as in just the up and down part of the terrain is kind of annoying. That's not the slime title, unfortunately. Try to remember that time in September when life was high. Can't remember all that. From... I have a hard enough time remembering campfire songs this week. Trying to remember real songs? Not being so successful. Okay. Aha. Oh, almost. That one. Not bad. 15 minutes left. You know something, Buenbugo? I did not, but I will actually roll back and double check that as soon as I get on the ground. My apologies for missing it, definitely. Let's scroll back. Oh, September by Earth, Wind & Fire. Yes, good one. I see. Sorry about that. My apologies for missing that. Definitely. That one. Junk. This, that. There. Go and go. We'll use what we got, right? Let's put a sleep in here just in case. And at some point, I'll go find the bed. I don't know what I did with the bed, but there's a bed out there somewhere. Two orange juice brands. Actual orange juice. That's my key. Actual orange juice. No offense intended. Sunny D is not orange juice. Yeah, I do not consider Sunny D to be orange juice. No matter what Juno may try and tell you. Where do I want to go? Simply Orange and Tropicana. There you go. In Canada, we also have Sunripe. I don't know where that's from, as in like what part of the planet that's from. J2O. Ooh. Cool. See, this is how I learned about international brands. Donald Duck? Really? Wow. Ocean Spray. Yes, that's definitely another one. And while Ocean Spray may be known for their cranberry. It's funny, being a visual thinker, you guys are talking about things like Tropicana, and my brain's thinking about like orange juice, a picture of an orange with a straw stuck in it. That's what they have on the juice cartons up here from the Tropicana ones. I mean, there's always store brands, right? Like, you know, you got No Name and you've got, I was going to say Gold, but that's not an American thing. Nor is Compliments. That's not an American thing either. You know, Captain Direct? Of course, they couldn't go with O2 because I suspect that the cell phone company would probably try and sue or take them to court or something. Not that you're going to necessarily drink a cell phone, and I don't know anybody who would get confused by that, but trademarks are trademarks sometimes. Yep, President's Choice, another one of those Canadian brands. Got plenty of them. We only needed 2. We got plenty, so let's roll. What do we got now? 2 films that take place within a 24-hour period. All right. Oh, the bot. I was like, what the heck? What am I hearing? Oops. How close are we? Oh, we've got some seeds left. I'm getting farther on this particular round than I thought I would. Having 2 shulkers ready to go, I guess, helped a lot. And 2 caves where I'm not actually putting things helps a lot as well. I will not, even if I figure out how to get Lightmatica to work, because Delenn, I will not be doing Lightmatic on the wall itself, just because that's huge, and I don't really need to have, like, if I did that, I could probably just simply do one massive Lightmatic of the whole base, which is not realistic in the slightest. Can I figure out? Nope, no idea. I was going to try and figure out where I'd put the bed, but yeah, not aware of it. Groundhog Day? You could say yes, it does, sort of. And I see what you say. Excuse me. I would say maybe that's more of a 48-hour period, only because he's got the day before, and then he repeatedly does the day of, right into evening. But yeah, I'll go with that one. Margin call? Ooh. I know it's about a short period. I didn't realize that was in a 24-hour period. I've only recently become aware of margin call because I wasn't into those sort of stock market type clicks. But anything that has, I think it was Jeremy Irons in it, catches my attention when the suggested clip comes around. Because he makes a really good baddie. Ha ha ha! You Googled, did you? That's okay. I mean, if it was the race to Google, then there are plenty here faster than me, even though I'm not doing this. I mean, there's quite a few films that could be said to be within 24 hours simply because they don't actually have any reference to time passing at all. Like, you don't see day or night, it just happens. Yes, indeed. Inception? That was my gut reaction, but I don't know how accurate that is. I've never actually seen Inception to know, but that would be the sort of thing I would think of. The other thing is, I don't know if it takes place within the 24 hours, or does it, what's the word? Is it about a specific 24 hours? So I'm not sure. Me either. Me either, Scott, or Captain Direct. And yes, yes, he did play. Yep, exactly. When you think of, if you're a Lion King fan, when you think of the talking sections of the Be Prepared song, they remind me an awful lot of the voice stylings he used in the very matter-of-fact stuff in Margin Call. Does a very good job of having a long, lean face, not a whole lot of visual expression unless you want it to be terrifying, and but a voice that does the matter-of-fact bored or incredibly intense, as in a you must style of intense, very, very well. Reroll for sure. Or fictional scientists on TV. Mr. Wizard. And if you get that reference, scientists specifically, Dadcraft, you're right. However, he does have a full-on engineering degree. But the guys, now, as not normally family-friendly as that would be, would the guys from Breaking Bad count? At least one of them? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, he does. Mechanical engineering. So if he's talking to you about, how bikes work or windmills or something, he's on the money. Dr. Stone, that's one I haven't heard in a while. Aha, I see. Yeah, I've heard that one a while back. But I haven't actually watched a whole lot of anime. Shame on me, I suppose. What do we got? How high are we? 119? I was going down to 107 on the other side, I think. But I think if I do that on this side, we'll be here forever. And it would look really, really wide, like a ribbon. I think we'll just go narrow like we did up top there. And the idea is some areas just aren't good for farming, right? We'll go with that. Let's take this off. Brown. Oh, what was his name? Dr. Sloan from Diagnostic Murder. That's not really a scientist, that's a doctor. I mean, just about anybody who worked in the science labs from a lot of the shows would probably qualify. Dr. Doolittle. Not on TV, I'm afraid. Professor X actually be a scientist? I don't know. That is a good question. So, the lady, yeah, exactly, the lady from Bones. That's what I was thinking of. I couldn't remember the scientist in that one. The lab chick from Bones. I mean, I guess you could say, was it Grisham, I think was his character, from CSI? They had a bunch of weird scientist-y guys in that one. Got a lot of, so-and-so's dead. Such and such, whatever. It's like, well, doesn't help if we don't have names. Which kind of stinks because I'm not good at these names either, any more than you guys are. Zoom in. Yeah, I guess we could come down. Hold it here. Why not? Ducky? Okay. Gizmo from DuckTales? Because we certainly know Launchpad McQuack was not a scientist. Didn't even play one on TV. Oops. Trying to think. I think there was a Professor Norbury. That's very obscure, though, from one of the Sherlock Holmes episodes. And that's like, so 80s and 90s, it hurts. Oh, gotcha. Oh, why not today? Why not? Okay.
2, 4, 6, 8. Everybody hydrate.
Hydrate. We've got a hydrate going on. Let's get a proper glass of water. So hydrates for everybody. You know, you've got your water, your tea, your coffee, your juice, your sodas, energy drinks. I suppose, depending on where it is, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and you've got your wobbly pops. Or as more mature people would say, your adult beverages. I wouldn't exactly call that hydrating, but hey, there's hydration in it somewhere. Oat sodas. What? Really? Oh, yes, duh. The oat soda. Took me a second to figure out that one. That's a new one. That's okay. People think I'm funny for wobbly pops. DC can be funny for his oat sodas. Or as one of the other streamers I've caught for a while, Dan Bear Pig, says, is, it's not a hydrate. On his adult stream, it's a boozinate. Yeah. There you go, that'll work. Fantastic Sherlock Fox was telling me last week that he was rather amused and puzzled a little bit by some of the people at his office, his new office where he works, because they have a rather high-end coffee machine system that can basically, it's basically a barista in a machine that can make you just about any kind of coffee you would like. And yet, it seems one of the popular things that his coworkers love to do is leave the office to go buy a coffee. So they're going to go spend, you know, $4 or $5 or more for a coffee, but the coffee machine in the office is high-end enough and they give it to you for free. It's like, why? I suppose maybe the beans are fresher if you get them elsewhere? I don't know. Maybe? Can't think of any other reason. They just need a walk, I suppose? But if you drink 2 or 3 cups of coffee a day, that adds up. Like, I don't get, I don't know. I just don't understand people sometimes. What? Oh, 4 video games that contain mini games. The Lego games, yes. Skywalker Saga has mini games, though we didn't see any on the weekend, but certainly it does have mini games indeed. I've played a few of them, and I am terrible at them. Yeah, our son who his internet name he goes by is Star Wars Fan Kid. Often he and his sister will pick a YouTube show they want to watch before they go to bed. It's sort of their little wind down for the night, which is odd because it's often video game content. But anyway, but on May the 4th, when they heard that Dadcraft was going to be playing some of the Skywalker Saga, then they really, really, really wanted to watch that. And when they had to go to bed, they were a little annoyed and wanted 5 more minutes kind of thing. I mean, they didn't really ask for it as much. It was just they were glued to it. So Fantastic Shock Fox offered them just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. And then after they finally went to bed, I figured, okay, that was it. We watched the rest of it. No big deal. And I got up on Saturday, and I could hear one of the Sound Redeem clips from Dadcraft's stream playing, and I'm thinking, what the? It must be Fantastic Sherlock Fox showing the Stacy's Mom song to the kids to explain stuff from the stream the night before. Nope. It was that my son had insisted on watching the remainder of the VOD that he'd missed. I'm like, oh, okay. Nothing wrong with that. He's got good taste. But it was amusing. Well, if it's any consolation, Dadcraft, he has recently turned old enough to have his own Twitch account. And I said, hey, if you want to watch some of this, do you want to sign up for a Twitch account so you can actually directly comment? He's like, nah, it's okay. And I said, okay, well, let me know if there's anything you want us to type in on your behalf. And nothing came up. So I would say that's probably pretty good. He's not one that tends to be pretty picky about how people play some of the games. There were a few things they said, I don't understand why he isn't doing this or that. And I said, because he may not know about it or whatever, but it's not a big deal. Like in our house, he enjoyed it, and that was the key. And I was actually surprised he wanted to watch the rest. I said, okay, so what about Minecraft content? And he goes, sometimes, but right now I'm just not into Minecraft, so it's not DC. He didn't want to keep watching on other nights. He just wasn't in a Minecraft mood. But when it came to something Star Wars, particularly on May the 4th, he was definitely on board for that. Yep, VODs are good though. We had some fun. It's kind of amusing. I did chuckle a little bit though, by myself, DC, I apologize, but it was kind of amusing a little bit the number of times that DC said, yep, so we got to get back to the storyline and we're going to keep on moving and, let's sort of keep on track kind of reference or reminder, I guess, for himself. And then immediately turn around and start smashing things. It's like, isn't that kind of counter to what you just said? But then I was sleepy and grouchy and whatever. Because my weekend, as Fantastic Sherlock Fox wanted me to get to ages ago, our weekend involved the vehicle rallies I was telling you about last week, where the kids built their own vehicles. I'm a little over time, so we won't be here long. But we had the vehicle rallies on Saturday, so it was a busy, busy day, and I was kind of burnt out by the time I was watching DC's stream in the evening. On the bright side, though, although my vehicle didn't do very well at all as a scout leader vehicle, my daughter won third fastest in her races, which was the equivalency of the American Pine Car Derby, for those that are familiar with that world. And my son, I can't remember, I think it was third in his as well, but his wasn't fastest. His was third for the show and shine best looking part of the competition. So they were pretty happy with that. I know my son would like to do better in the races for actual speed, but I agree with him that he likes it to look like something. Not just realistic, but look good. And some of the ones that race fast don't look all that realistic or good. There will be more, Captain Red. It may not necessarily be Star Wars Lego. But DC streams are always a good time, even if it's not something, if he's not working on something that's your cup of tea, they're always fun. And sometimes even if he's playing something like Bingo where he's not very available to chat, I love it when the chat takes care of itself. There's enough people in there that there's conversations going on, which I can't imagine how on earth streamers like DC manage to keep up with what's really worth commenting to, because sometimes there's so many weird side tangents going on in the conversation that to respond to all of them would be insane. Okay, so I've run out of seeds. We are about 5 minutes over time, so let's just fly back to anywhere that will get a good... Oh, what did I... That's weird. I got over the wall and then just dropped out of the sky. Anyway, where I was going to go with that was to say, let's get somewhere that I can AFK that farm. And then I decided I should probably, you know, actually be in the castle. Because phantoms are one thing. Getting myself dead is totally, entirely unwelcome. Okay. All that to say, so we got wheat planted this week. It wasn't what I originally said I was going to do. I thought I remembered how, and apparently I don't. So I got to go figure that, go back to school. In the meantime, let's find somebody to raid and see who we've got that's doing something interesting. Hopefully there'll be someone as part of the community. Mondays are sometimes a pirate, and sometimes she's busy. So that's just the way life works. Let's see if we've got... I do not see a pirate, which is fine. I'm going to try refreshing one more time. No problem. I do not know what I'll be up to tomorrow. I'll figure that out this afternoon. Nope. No floaty friends, and I don't see anyone else from our particular stream community, so... let's head on into... We're going to go hit up Jade today, I think. She's on Truly Winter. May the 6th be with you. Whatever that means. So we'll get that one started, and then I'll say thanks in specific to everybody. In specific? Grammar. Grammar's not my strong suit. Okay, button. Button, who's got the button?
Mischief managed.
Mischief managed, indeed. Thank you everybody that came by, and if you were lurking, I really do appreciate it. If you came through as part of the raid and stuck around, I appreciate that very much as well. So special thanks goes to ITT Tom for bringing in his raiders, and thank you very much Ed Starbright for the new follow. Also thank you to the clue spenders today that made the place a little more exciting. Thank you very much to our moderation team, including Mama Bear, Neon, Zerk, Benson, and Fantastic Sherlock Fox. We had great conversation today from Yellow, Bobreen, Sly Gamer Scott, Valente Productions, ITT Tom, Sashay Away, Chronic Noob, Creef, The Swanky Potato, Dobbs, Captain... oh boy. Captain Red, we'll go with that. Dadcraft, The Blind Bugler, and Tara was in here. I apologize for missing some of you guys. So, if you're just hanging out, lurking, and working, or doing your evening, I say thanks again. Please say hello to Maribel Jade. I'll see you briefly on the flip side. And until tomorrow, bye-bye for now.
Transfer complete.